So we're going to have a very open and free conversation.
Good afternoon, happy to be here. I'm called Abdul Kasoma. I'm CEO of BPO company called Exquisite Solution. We sit in Namangwe. We are into the digital space via the services we offer that relate to call center and call center enabled services, IT enabled services delivered via our call and contact center in Namangwe. Happy to be here.
You are a facilitator to the BPO, and talk about what impact, what difference you've seen in your operations since the market got digitized. I know you've been in the market for the early days. What has happened differently? You're a huge employer. What impact have you seen from the advancements of Irene and today's?
Thank you very much. A key takeaway from what Julius mentioned was technology is no longer just an enabler, but the job itself. And this is what we traded in technology. But technology is only practical when or if it's being applied by the right, the people with the right skilling. When we talk of digitalization and how it's enhancing the BPO sector, we are basically looking at three pillars: the technology, infrastructure technology, upskilling, and having the right regulatory framework. With infrastructure, all previous, facilitators have been talking about how we have made mileage in infrastructure development, but the one that relates more to technology is the interventions. I think there's been a World Bank funding for pushing broadband to the most least privileged areas in the country. So the broadband coupled with affordable devices that because most of Ugandans are going to use technology mostly predominantly on the phone rather than on the computer, the stage at which we are, and then having the right regulatory framework. Recently, the government passed the BPO policy, the BPO policy that is guiding how BPO is going to be delivered in the country, and the right projects have been undertaken that are focusing on skilling Ugandans. So many of our young, educated, boys and girls have benefited from different interventions. Currently, there is a project by Enable, delivered by Private Sector Foundation. There's been NTF4, that's Netherlands Trust Fund, and 5. And Netherlands Trust Fund number 5 is actually being funded by the British government, the project part of which we are. All that is, adopting projects that are helping with skilling Uganda. And then the regulatory framework,
Okay. Thank you. I'll come back to you later because now we've set the scene, and now I want to pose the question both to the panel and later on to the floor during the handover to you in terms of the opportunity in terms of contact.
There is a contributor behind there that
something about employment.
Seems to imply that call centers are now becoming obsolete. I'll tell you, you cannot wish away the human touch. Graham talks about someone having an ID, but that ID, is it verifiable? Many times there is an intersection between technology and the human body when you are doing the verifications. When you talk about Julius and the queues that you have to encounter while at his bank, accurate or not, when these bankers say get out of the line and go online, in a way, by going online, there is always going to be a layer of support that is going to come from the human being in the back end. And that's where the call centers come in. And where is the opportunity? Why do we talk about the partnerships with the UK companies? I've attended quite a few, contact center expos, and every single operator in the call center space is talking one thing: AI, the threat that AI is, but it's been neutralized to say AI only complements what the human body does in that call center. So rather than reinvent the wheel, we want the partnerships with the companies in Europe, companies in the UK, who already are off the ground on the side of AI. I'll tell you, Uganda has been talked about in so many perspectives, but we have very intelligent, well-educated young boys and girls from universities. They are very trainable and very well, cultured. They have a very good work culture. I remember there was a lot of talk about us and our neighbors, how they leverage on this and that. But you're not going to find, in the region, you're not going to find people that have a work culture that Ugandans have. We currently, just to expound that as I go off the mic, we are supporting companies in the US. One company is into insurance, but when an insurance, when they are doing claims, there is that first layer of verification that even the US, advanced as they are with their technology, is not going to be able to undertake. So it's our young girls and boys in Uganda that are doing the verification of if this person is actually entitled to a claim, and if so, then you can escalate to another level of intervention. We manage some company in the hospitality, not hospitality, but in the medical services sector, where if someone has gotten involved in an accident, this is in California, the first point of contact, the people they call are in Uganda. And we arrange an ambulance service to pick up that person from wherever. We arrange appointments for that patient who is an uninsured patient. We arrange an appointment for them to see a practitioner that is closest to them. And these are, at the lower end of the involvement of the call and contact center. Once we tag along with the well-developed, companies in the UK, I know the potential down there is great. Currently, we run a call center, an 800-seater call center, which we are pushing up to about 2,000 by end of year. But and we are not alone. Even the moderator here, they run a call center. The opportunity for partnerships and therefore getting us to the other level of progress is high up there. But yes, the Mr. Contributor call center is here to stay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can't leave without asking somebody to make a comment, and I want to ask.
Thank you so much for the time. The Honorable Minister of Energy said she's the most sought after individual because of the sector she's overlooking. I tell you, BPO is the new energy once we all open our eyes to it. The opportunities are immense. The preferred destination has lost its shine, which used to be India. Africa is the new destination, and Uganda is, like the moderator mentioned, off the quotation from our minister. BPO and Uganda is ready to.
Thank you.
So my name is Elizabeth Ntege. I am the Group CEO of NFT Consult, which is a human resource management firm that focuses on breaking barriers of employment on Africa, and we are now in 12 African countries. Now, my claim to fame, I used to work and live in Uganda, in England. My claim to fame is I developed what you now use as BT broadband. So I am an engineer by trade, and so I was really instrumental in doing that. Then left and went to Uganda and was looking after the network planning of Uganda Telecom, then started NFT Consult. What I wanted to comment about was that I also now work very clearly in the ICT sector. You know, I head the ICT Association of Uganda and the VP of the ICT Association on the African continent of all the ICT associations, and also the COMESA as a business bloc. But what I wanted to comment is that ICT is the new sector on the block. You know, not only are we just enabling all the sectors around here, because if we're going to scale, we really have to scale through the ICT technology that we have. And here are some of the, in our recently concluded conference, we had something around 25, by 2050, 25% of the global population is going to be on the African continent. There will be about 16.12 trillion US$ in consumer and business spending, and 830 million youth ready to shape our future. You know, so we are a young continent, and our people and our young people have the same dreams that you have here. That is why when we comment about losing jobs as receptionists, as call center agents, that is not what our people want. You know, they want jobs that are scaling up. So we have been very lucky in one of the programs that we were working with at NFT. We did a pilot with a financial funder who funded creating jobs on the continent. What we need are jobs creation. This cost them and cost us just under $1 million. And right now, we're in the process of creating another 1,300 jobs on the continent for our young people at a cost of $5.8 million. So there is opportunity for people to come alongside us to create jobs for our young people, but mostly in the ICT sector, because they can then work remotely and support you here on the European continent. So that's what I wanted to. It's not all about agriculture, what is it, tourism and everything. The ICT sector is ripe and ready to contribute to our economy in Uganda. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
But more important is